Hello everybody and welcome to something new we haven't really ever done, to some Amnesia. Now initially when I streamed that on Twitch, I didn't really intend to make this into an edited video. I was maybe gonna upload it to YouTube as a full VOD. I didn't really plan on making it like into an edited full-on thing. Now what made me change my mind was I just enjoyed playing it, and especially enjoyed all the analyzing I was doing of all the notes, of all the story, and additionally I did have the developers commentary on, which I also would listen to and comment on. So I guess I should also give the heads up that even though I will be showing all the monster chases, all the puzzles, all of that stuff, the focus of the videos will be mostly looking at the story, the details of the story, reading the notes, analyzing them, and also listening to the developer commentary and also commenting on it. Unfortunately, because I did not intend on making this an edited video, I wasn't recording it separately from streaming it. So that meant I had to get the VOD from Twitch in order to edit it. Which is good to know. The only problem is that unfortunately the quality is a bit reduced, especially at the start. You can see it's very pixelated. Later on, for the most part, it's better, but there are times where Twitch just compresses the VOD a lot and there's nothing I can do. For next stream, which I don't know how many videos we'll split the stream into, because I have not done the editing yet, but for the next stream I will be sure to also record it separately from streaming in, that way the quality will be better. Additionally, I couldn't split the audio into my own voice and the Windows, the game audio. So unfortunately, if I wanna, for example, mute the game and just talk, or mute myself if I wanna listen to the game, unfortunately I cannot do that, because it's all the same sound file. But again, for the next stream I will be sure to be recording it, which means I can also split the audio. And that's all, so hope you enjoy the video. Hello there everybody, and welcome to something we haven't done ever, some Amnesia. Now a heads up, I have played the game back in the day when it was like, you know, when it was out and stuff. I have played it, it does have some nostalgia value to me, but also it's been a while, so I'm sure I've forgotten a lot. When we get to the new ones, I think I've played Machine for Pig once as well. And yeah, the new one, Rebirth, I do not know anything about, so that's like the... That's obviously, there's like some... I looked it up because I didn't know what it was, didn't remember. But these are like some dev commentary on like what were they thinking when making the game, which I guess in a way it's a little bit immersion breaking. But also I feel it's quite interesting, so I decided to leave it on, or to turn it on rather. Hey everybody, Editing Info here. I did increase the brightness of the video by a little bit in editing, but I'm leaving you a few seconds on that screen if you want to set up your device's brightness appropriately.
Don't forget, some things mustn't be forgotten.
Gotta check the sensitivity
I must hurry.
when I can play normal.
In London at Mayfair. What have I done?
Mayfair.
This is
Okay.
crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget.
I must stop him.
Focus. My name is
Daniel.
I am Daniel.
I remember that, like the... I was like really cool, like I said his name at the start, and then by the time he stops speaking, he has almost forgotten, like he's again reminding himself because he's forgotten because of the amnesia chug. Anything under the stairs? Nope. No goblin or no Harry Potter, so we are good. Oh, there's a developer message. Thomas Grip, dismembered archives.
This is one of the first level that we created for the game, and it was initially part of the archives level, which we will reach in a bit. Amnesia started out with a pretty different design, and when we redesigned it, the maps did not fit. This caused us to split them up and scatter them out. So in the first design, after this corridor, the archives level was supposed to follow, and the room lying there now was built much later. In fact, the first designs did not have Daniel waking up with an amnesia at all, and it was actually added later on. In the first story draft, Daniel still had hidden memories, but he was unaware of this at the start of the story. However, as we redesigned things, we found a waking up with amnesia thingy, although a bit cliché, much more fitting.
I mean, considering that's the name of the game, pretty fitting. Oh, there are two messages, okay. I guess I'm do some listening for a minute.
Hi there, my name is Luis Rodero. I'm mostly the tool programmer, level scripter at times, and perhaps the main reason why the rest of the core team at Fictional Games is pretty much forced to speak English at our internal meeting, as I am the only non-Swede here. Now, what a Spaniard is doing with a bunch of Swedish guys is a whole different story we won't be discussing today. By the way, I will be talking mostly about tools and scripting. Hope you like it.
Okay, by tools and what? I didn't hear the last word. It's still high respawning, huh? I was hoping you could get reduced while listening to that. I guess we got one more to listen to, and hopefully...
The editors themselves went through a lot of design changes during the development. Not that many in visual appeal as in internal stuff, like data structures and handling. This happened mostly because at the beginning we only knew the basic stuff that needed to be in them, and as they grew in features and functionality, they started to kind of fall apart, mostly due to my big lack of previous experience in projects like this. Right now, aloud, what the hell still sounds in my head when I look at some parts of the code, but I am still proud of them. They can also get a bit buggy at times, but hopefully this won't happen again in the future. And I already got some nice ideas for the next iteration of the tools.
What's happening? Oh, there's a fucking earthquake? I don't know, are just like imagination things? Or is it like really stuff happening? Is it like an earthquake right now, or is he just imagining shit? Because, I mean, I know he's imagining a bunch of shit, like he's seeing things a lot and whatever. To be fair, it's kinda cool as well that in this game they didn't put on the basic as... I guess it's not like really zombies as much, still creepy as monsters, but it's not like mindless zombies as much as like... You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's exactly the story with these guys. Oh, we got some stuffs here. Okay, I don't know if that's gonna be the auto-read memory ones, so in case it is, I'm gonna shut up for a sec.
19th of August, 1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there will be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brandenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. One last thing. Redeem us both.
Shit. Shit, I accidentally closed it. Daniel's note to self. So, I think, okay, we can know when the story takes place. Because I'm pretty sure he's put that note just before he drank the potion. So, I guess currently it is the year 1839, 19th of August. Okay, so somewhere... Hey, just a little intermission from editing Gifan again. I will be adding this little timeline that you can see right now to take note of the events that happen or in the past and whatever. However, I should point out the timeline is not to scale, since there are things that are happening literally months and I'm guessing even days before the current time, but also there are things that happen centuries before the current time. And there is no way to put this into the same timeline if I want to keep it to scale. So keep in mind it is showing the order of the events, but it's not showing how much time passes through them. Because, again, that wouldn't really fit on the same timeline. Which asks how much you remember. I don't know if there will be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find... I wonder why can you not... Well, can I not tell me why? Why can I not tell me the reasons behind drinking? I mean, obviously, for game reasons, yeah, you want to build up the story and you cannot immediately tell everything. But why wouldn't Daniel tell himself everything? Like, everything he wants to know, rather. The entire story, just write it down somewhere and instead of just putting up bits and pieces of it. Obviously, I know in-game that makes a lot of sense and it's great that it's told like that. But I'm nitpicking at, like, hopefully no one minds, but I love nitpicking at small stuff like that, which obviously is made for gameplay purposes and it's great that it's made like that. However, in-game, like lore-wise, it makes no bloody sense. Anyways, no man. Don't be afraid, I can tell you why, but know this, I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brandenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the inner sanctum, find Alexander and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours young and strong. So I'm a youngling, huh? Well, I don't think I'm that young, I don't know. He'll be no match for you. But he's an alien, right? I think that was the story. He's a bloody alien. Okay, anyways. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It's a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I have tried everything and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness where Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel. Okay, so now I guess we get introduced to Michael. Let's hear him out.
Hello everyone, my name is Mikael, and I'm
Mikael.
for Amnesia, The Dark Descent.
Let's hear him out. Oh, he's done.
I think we can all feel the story kick-starting as we finish the letter from Daniel. The game itself is just filled with confusion. and I think we're really doing the player a service keeping it simple in the beginning. Basically try to take your revenge on Alexander, that is the premise of the game. You don't really need to dive any deeper than that, but hoping that the player will care about the story, they have the entire game in front of them to decide if they think killing Alexander is justified or not.
I don't remember if there was... I think there was an ending where you let him live, but I think some of the endings were bad. There were 3 or 4 endings if I remember correctly. I think one maybe you just allow him to escape, then one you kill the pillars, and then one is the one with Agrippa, where you throw Agrippa's head in the portal or something. Which I think maybe Agrippa's one was like the best one, and I think the other two maybe you die or something like that. I don't really remember. But yeah, as you said, like obviously I mentioned that bit. Obviously gameplay wise, like balance wise, it's great that I tell the story like that. But lore wise, why the fuck would you not tell yourself the full story? So many, I don't think there will be so many. Oh, memory, I forgot this memory flashes.
Is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brennenburg.
Okay, I guess we get these for the refinery, and we get these like there's the inner sanctum, which you already knew about, but he's like very deep under, which I mean inner sanctum kind of implies that. And yeah, I guess like we get the first of those flashbacks, and bloody Alexander. Like look at it, I never noticed before. Listen to, he's such an evil ass, like his voice is so fucking evil. Jesus Christ. So Mark, let's see who's this guy.
Hello, my name is Mark Nikander. I'm a 3D artist and level creator at Fictional
Sorry,
Games.
the what artist?
Hello,
The
my
video
name is
artist?
Mark Nikander. I'm a 3D artist and level creator at Fictional Games. I started out as an helper during Penumbra Overture, and I was finally hired as a full-time artist in the later part of Penumbra Black Plague.
Okay, so a level designer and whatever else.
The entrance hall was first shown in our first gameplay trailer, and while the layout hasn't changed much, the details certainly have. We build our levels from sets of pieces, in this case, the custom-based set. While the carefully planned set pieces made level building very easy, the levels became very similar, and we had to make special pieces to the levels. Now, 1.5 years later, the special pieces make up about half of the pieces in the custom-based set, and we made changes to incorporate these objects into the earlier levels. An example of this can be seen if you compare the hole in the roof now with the one from the first trailer. The new roof was made in the middle of the project when we built level 9 back hall. A special version was made to give the roof hole in the entrance hall more depth and detail.
Yeah, so of course they use some preset pieces for that. Refinery. Oh, it's in what language is that? Is it? I don't know. Fabrica Equatoria. Wait, so isn't Castle Brennenburg? It sounds German? Isn't it German? So it is in Germany. Okay. So after all that looking up, yes, Castle Brennenburg is indeed in Germany. Cool. So I don't know, that doesn't look German to me. If stuff implied, it can't be torn by hand or tools. Some sort of organic tissue blocking the path, can it be dissolved?
This is one of the many hub levels in the game. And this is a design concept that we started out with in Penumbra. The idea is to give the player some freedom on where to go, but at the same time give a clear objective. In this level, the slime obstacle is the thing that the player needs to get past, and all other levels then have things needed to do so. The slime itself is one of the few puzzles left from the initial designs, and the one I'm probably the least proud of. Now that slime appears all around, it feels a bit forced that you need to have a potion on the slime. Many testers also complained that they wanted other options in getting rid of the slime, like burning it. However, creating a potion is the central theme for this hub, so we had to let it be. I don't think it's that bad, but we probably could have redesigned it if we had time.
Yeah, okay. I get that. So, considering the slug is already everywhere, and you can use the potion just to destroy that bit, it's weird that you cannot use it for other places or anything like that. It's just this single spot and that's it. Luis Rodrigo. No, you're Latin. Also, this Latin.
Throughout the game, you can see some signs written in Latin. The reason for using it
Latin.
is that it was considered a language of culture and science, as most scientific and philosophy authors wrote their works and treatises in it. As we are dealing with a castle dwelled by a pretty smart guy that has been around since the Renaissance period, Latin all around the place was something we should expect. Being the only guy in the team that had a direct contact with Latin, in high school to be more precise, well, it was kind of logical that any translation to be done would have my name on it. Translating stuff into Latin was kind of strange and fantastic to do. At first I had a classic Latin dictionary, so if I had to translate any modern term, I would have to track its etymology down to the Latin equivalent, or look for a synonym or similar expression that had a direct translation. Then I had the luck to come across some dictionary for modern stuff online that addressed most of this stuff for a huge lot of terms, so it couldn't have come in a better time. Some days I would have Sebastian dropping a list of 9 or so entries to be translated, and before finding this dictionary, it was quite a lot of work. On a side note, we even had a choose your Latin poll on a couple entries, just to pick the one that sounded better for everyone. Results were pretty unanimous, by the way. For some final words on this, I must confess that, while I was pretty good at this in high school, that was like 15 years ago. So right now I'm not 100% sure translations are correct at all, but I took the time to make them at least plausible. So my apologies go in advance to any Latin guru up there playing the game, as I myself get on the verge of losing my temper when I see stuff like this obviously made up.
I love how I ask a question and then I get answered by those prompts. Obviously it's not like modern, but it is still the 19th century, so you know there are still things that obviously back when I spoke Latin, whenever that was, obviously didn't have that, so yeah, that makes sense. Let's see a whole new toolset.
If you haven't followed our development blog back when it started, you might have missed one of the biggest changes in our production pipeline. 2 years back, we started a toolset side project to ease and speed up the creation of content for the game. I'd say the level editor, which is what we, or more specifically James, Mark and Marcus, have used to build all the halls and corridors you are working through right now, is the big start of the pack. Its workings in a nutshell: while all the models and assets are actually made in software like Maya or Blender, everything geometry-wise in the levels is put together in it. Then lighting and sweet details like decals and fog are added in. While this approach might sound simple, really nice stuff can come out from it, as you can see in the game.
I think actually there's like a pretty easily accessible level editor that you can literally make levels for it, but like you can just plop those prompts everywhere, props everywhere, and then like doors that you say like this door leads to that level, and notes obviously you can write what's in the note, I'm guessing, and then you know, a spawn for a monster which is triggered when the player goes here, for example, there's that, and then you need to use that item on that, I guess, is also, but I feel like it's not that big, like that, it isn't that crazy. It feels really accessible to do levels for that. Let's see if there's fall damage. There is fall damage. Okay, didn't change my stance. I don't know if there are hidden bars in this, which are like, you know, going, and if you're above like 75% is good, if you're above 50 or like, or I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how this works.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
So like he was wondering how they got there, and he did find something, and then they was gonna dig in. We have two things to listen to. Okay, let's try It's a Material World.
To finish this little overview of our tools, I must mention the Material Editor, available both standalone and built into the other editors. The program itself is very simple to use. You have some material types defined by the engine, and you can throw in textures to be used for diffuse, normal maps, height maps, as well as some variables to control specific parameters for a material type. When I was writing it, I could just stare while the preview model rotated around itself and the parallax mapping effect was on when testing, just for fun.
Didn't fully follow what he said, but just about being able to edit specific pieces. I saw the letter there as well. Should check it out. Let's check this one first. Fun with furniture.
Another piece of the toolset is the model editor, used to create the entities you are interacting with while playing. Basically, we take a model and set up some parameters like physical bodies, joints, and user-defined variables. We can also attach sub-entities to them, like lights, particle systems. When an entity is finally set up, it is ready to be placed in a level using the level editor. Examples of entities here are doors, lamps, most furniture, critters.
Okay. Oh, fuck, it fell. Okay, cool. Let's check the note. Is it another OG? Wilhelm's contract. Oh, there was a Wilhelm, I think. I remember, at least when I hear Wilhelm, I think there was like the people underground somewhere that we heard scream or something. I don't remember what it was. I hereby offer my full attention and services to Alexander, Baron of Brandenburg. Hereby offer my full attention and service. This contract will reign for a total of 3 years. When my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander, Baron of Brandenburg, is to recommend my services at the Prussian Royal Court and within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break the seal. Wilhelm House of Gerich. Gerich, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, I think things didn't go too well for Wilhelm there. Problems with not being fun.
This level was changed a lot, and I think it's one of the most tweaked levels that we got. Not only was it part of the big archives level that we had to split up, but it was also hard to get it engaging enough. The problem here is that we don't have any sort of fun mechanic that we rely on to make the game engaging. Instead, we rely on story, atmosphere, and environments. This is true for many other levels and the game as a whole, but these were kind of the one of the larger levels that we made, and also one that didn't have much puzzles and such. So when testing it, we quickly get bored with it, and we wanted to add more spooky events to spice it up. But then later on, testing proved that these events weren't that necessary, and we also felt that they were a bit lame and not fitting, so we decided to remove them. Then the back part of the level, we wanted to make that a more linear experience, with the current player getting trapped and all, forcing the player to solve the destroy wall and find secret door puzzles. Previously, testers often missed that they can solve these problems. The level is now very different from the early designs.
Is he supposed to like give a spoiler, so is this like meant to be on later playthroughs? Again, I guess technically I have played this ages ago and I do know of it and kind of the story and shit. So it's not, I'm not too worried, obviously I'm not worried about spoilers really at all. But still, it's kind of interesting that he actually goes ahead and gives you the spoilers.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
That's cool. I guess we got a bit more of the backstories. So they went in, and yeah, it was like I guess something was affecting the people, so they were like more angry and superstitious, fearful, and then angry. And then they went to the building, like a place which is much older than it's supposed to be. So they managed to raise the slab, and he managed to slip in, but then the slab fell back in and dropped everything. Okay. Wait, I wanted to also see the dates actually on all those. So 39, and is current year 49? No, it's the same year? Really? 6th of May 1839? August 1839. I thought it's been years, but no, I guess it's been just... Yeah, it's been much less time. It's the same fucking year. He went there in May and he found it, and then it's only 3 months in between the events. Like, he's... In all that time, like, he was looking for a solution. He found Alexander. They kind of, you know, talked to or whatever. Alexander found out that... Like, he found out Alexander was doing evil shit. And then he turned on him. I thought it's been years. For, like, each and every one of those processes, I thought it took years. Okay, let's see.
When I started writing, I had only the outline, the framework for the story, and the first few levels in the game design document. So I ended up finalizing a lot of material for the first levels, and then when those were done, we planned out the last 2/3 or so. This had a funny effect since I had to not only cater to the story, but to stay true to the stuff I've written for the first levels. Usually you can go back and forth while writing and change things, but if you have already recorded voices, you really shouldn't because of the costs. So the first text really shaped the rest of the material in an interesting way, and made them matter in a way I hadn't thought about. I really like how this thickens the story elements, as I am able to jump back into the material and keep using and reinforcing certain concepts. Agrippa is of course the most extreme effect of this method, which grew from a small reference to becoming one of the most important characters in the game.
Right, so that's interesting. I didn't like they apparently had already pre-written stuff by the time, or I don't know if pre-written is correct. Floor plans and maps. I think, yep, there's the collapse. Let me out. Although I guess I'm not really trying to leave. I'm trying to kill the guy. Then again, if you walk up in this place, would you be really doing your best to kill the guy that you found a note on? It's another... Is it the Lester... Oh, whatever. Nope, we're collapsing now.
17th May, 1839.
Oh, yeah, it is, I think.
After pounding the unforgiving stone wall
Yes.
for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light, waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light. I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry.
What's impossible geometry? I guess.
Is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
So yeah, I guess that's the last, yeah. So obviously, okay, so that's like after he gave up, he somehow, maybe that was the actual room, but why did no one else find stuff? I don't know. Then he touched the orb, and it spirited him away, and then he started seeing stuff, other memories of, like, I guess, alien planets and whatnot. And then they managed to lift the thingy. I guess if he waited a minute, he wouldn't have any of those troubles, but he did. So yeah, and they got him out, and he had the pieces in him, which he didn't know anything about at the time. Yeah, it's pretty cool how you get a few stories going at the same time. Kind of, you get the story from him finding the orb. I think you get, this book went through the, what was the, it was maps or something? Well, obviously these aren't maps, these are books, but hopefully it's nothing too important, because now it's stuck in the floor, in the thingy.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the walls. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble, and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
So yeah, I think that's obviously when Daniel heard of... We obviously have yet to find about that, but Daniel heard about Alexander, or heard from Alexander, I don't know exactly. And because of that, he came here. Supposedly, like, Alexander was supposed to help him and shit. And, well, stuff happened.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
I think that's already broken. Let's see. Local folklore. Okay, getting some cool ambience here. Austadt and Brennenburg Castle, 1801. So that's 38 years before the current events. Another region rich with lore is Austadt, deep within the East Perusian woods. For centuries, there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brennenburg. So yeah, it's been for ages. There were scary stories about the castle, I guess. The quiet forest-clad mountains dressed with a scarlet lakes, excuse me, is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local and you will hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travelers should indulge themselves in such conversations, since it will certainly serve as exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists of the tales, but there are some motifs that kept reappearing. I don't know, I guess someone's written an article about the Austadt Brennenburg lore, or folklore I should say. And I guess it appears here because it's kind of important or some shit. The Gatherers. This story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. I don't know when that was, so sure. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the Cold War woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies, wrought by their tainted souls, have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. So revenants, beholders, is it D&D, what? They are called gatherers as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. Is it their prey, which can be heard struggling inside dumb burlap sacks dragged behind them, which reveal their presence? What dark schemes do they follow? I'm wondering if these are the servants, which are obviously the monster which we face. I know there are some theories that they don't actually look that scary. They are most like humanoids, like human-looking people, but it's Daniel's mind that's playing tricks on him. I'm not sure if that's true, though. They might actually look like it. I'm not sure which one is the true. But I think the gatherers might be them regardless. And maybe it is like when the deserters maybe did come in the woods and like Alexander trapped them as his servants or some shit. And then they abduct people? Living creatures doesn't necessarily mean people, I suppose. But I'm guessing they also abduct humans. Well, I think I did a little bit of research on the battles from the 30 Years' War to see if there is anything near Brennenburg. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything of the sort. I did look through all the battles that I could find on Google from the 30 Years' War. However, I didn't really find any battles that were anywhere near where Brennenburg is located. So unfortunately, we cannot narrow it down any further than the 30 years period the 30 Years' War was. And therefore, that's what will appear on the timeline. A visit not done. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. Oh, this guy, Agrippa, we'll meet him. The well-known erudite, what's an erudite? Okay, so he's like very smart. Visited Austadt at the start of the 16th century. Agrippa is from the 16th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdoms past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day, he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Henrik is known to have passed away in... Never be seen? He is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He diminished the notion of ever visiting Austadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was that mysterious man who visited a sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? Because Agrippa is there, and that's what? 16th century, at the start, so 15 something. It's currently 18 something. So that's like, what, 300 years? 3 centuries. So, well, he's been alive for a while, that's for sure, somehow. And I don't know why does what's his face need him. Maybe we'll find out at some point. But okay, so he went back supposedly and then died 10 years later, which is not like him that soon after, I suppose. 10 years is quite a while. I wonder if there's like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think, did a fake one go back? Did Alexander send a fake one back so he's not like disappeared? I mean, maybe he didn't manage to send him back to the village because he didn't know the details, but he managed to make a fake somehow, I don't know, and send him back to his home for him to die? Or did the real one go home and then he died and somehow was pulled back here? I really don't know. The immortal Baron. The Baron of Brandenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Austadt, and like most those of noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with their title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. So that's after Agrippa, though. It was rebuilt by Alexander. Okay, a nobleman from the Rhinelands claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remain popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage, therefore the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle along with the great leaders of his country. Is it possible that Alexander, whatever he is, came in the 16th century? Wait, where is... Okay, I need to find out when is the 30 Years' War? Early 17th century. So obviously these guys from the 16th century cannot be these guys because, well, they are from the different... So maybe whatever Alexander was or is, like he was maybe chilling in the woods at some point, he wasn't necessarily in the castle right away, and he was abducting people and whatnot. Again, that's later though, I don't know. So if these are the gatherers, I don't know, so it doesn't have to have been there from before then. But no, Agrippa... I don't know, I thought maybe Alexander was in the forest earlier, but he wasn't initially in the castle, and then he burned the castle to kill the inhabitants, and then he like came as a hero to rebuild it and whatnot, and then get it as his own. That might have some truth to it, but obviously that is from after that. So yeah, after maybe the war, and so that's as I thought it was. Okay, I guess that's a theory I have, a running theory right now, that Alexander is... I guess we're doing a very, very deep lore playthrough. I wasn't really thinking how would I be doing it, but I'm thinking about lore so much that I clearly am doing a bunch of lore stuff. Where's the second one? And last one. Hey. Regarding closing of the wine cellar, Wilhelm and his fools have endangered my research long enough with their... So there's the guy that's... let me see again, what's Wilhelm's deal? Yeah, so he like would serve Alexander for 3 years, fully serve him, I guess, almost as a slave, and then he's gonna recommend him and whatever. And the son, oh, okay, so Alexander was in the Order of Black Eagle, whatever that was. And I guess he's a bigger guy if he has Wilhelm house or whatever. So, back to that. Wilhelm and his fools, so like the people serving him, have endangered my research long enough with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. Okay, talking about human abductions now. The sheriff is keeping a watchful eye on the forest and is killing my trusty servants. The sheriff is literally killing the guy. Interesting. In a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brandenburg. I need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. The wine cellar will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either the king's men leave or they will starve. Whatever comes first, they can rot for all I care. Maybe I'll feed them some wine. It would, in a sense, solve both of my problems. So I guess this might be from the king's men. Where's... Like, these guys might be the Kingsmen, right? The Kingsmen will leave. Unless he means the researchers, but no, that doesn't make sense. Like, leave or starve. And then, why would he lock the wine cellar? Like, if he's locking them in, does he mean... Hold on, I didn't... Like, I'm trying to understand this properly. Like, if he's locking them up, we will lock him his men up. So, yeah. So, he's gonna lock them in the wine cellar. So, what do you mean they want to leave or they will starve? They cannot leave. So, I guess they will starve. Or does he mean... Either the king's men will leave, or Wilhelm's men will starve. Maybe that's what he means. So, either people like the king's men who are looking up stuff will leave, and if they don't leave, he's keeping Wilhelm forever locked. Whatever comes on, they can rot. Maybe I can feed them some wine. It solves both of my problems. That's poisoning them again. I guess one of his problems is he needs dead people, so he kind of, if he kills them, I think wine means poisoned wine, I'm pretty sure, feeding them wine. So that's like, if he kills them, he's gonna get the power he needs from slaying things, but, and like, they won't find anything. I'm guessing that's the idea then. Oh, did we get a monster now? I think we might be getting a monster now. There he goes, he's leaving. I'm pretty sure that's a fake one, although I'm not 100% sure. Let's leave. Let us leave, let's go home. And that's where we're gonna end the video, everyone. So, thank you so much for watching, and this was the first half of this first stream. The second half might be separated into 2 videos, because I did cut out a lot of this one, and I think I will not be cutting as much from the next ones. I will see, of course. I have not gone to editing them yet. Now, the next video, I don't want to commit to a schedule because I do have exams starting in a few weeks and I will have to do some studying. But I will do my best to upload a video at least once per 1 or 2 weeks. Again, don't want to commit to it, but I think I can generally say that I'll probably have time to edit at worst once per 2 weeks. Maybe even on a good week, once per week would work as well. That's where we're gonna end the video, so make sure to check me on Twitch, where I stream pretty much 5 to 6 times per week. Although again, with the exams they might turn down just a little bit lower, but still I would imagine 4 or 5 times per week is gonna be what I'll be doing. There I stream a lot of Souls games and Souls likes, some challenge runs, some mods and whatnot, but also I play stuff like Amnesia and other different styles of games, story games, be it horror, be it something else. Sometimes I might play like, I don't know, GTA with the Chaos mod, with the chat integration, so you can vote how to, you know, screw me over. And also sometimes I might, I don't know, play like a Minecraft thing, I don't know, like a Minecraft mod or whatever. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, where I always post my links where I go live. I'm also trying to be more active there, so I'll also be posting a bunch of other shit. And also check out the Discord, which is also somewhere I'm trying to be more active in. And also you can see me when I go live, you can see the schedules for all the streams. And yeah, that's all. So thank you for watching, and as always, until next time. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure to scroll down a bit and check out those like and subscribe buttons. They cost you absolutely nothing to click, and I would much appreciate it. Also, you can check my links to Twitch, where I stream pretty regularly, to my Twitter, where you can see notifications when I go live, and also other random posts, and also to my Discord, where you can hang out and whatnot.